Turn on the AC. It's Angel Caruso.
Hello and welcome back. So today, with it being Halloween in a few days, I thought why not do my top 10, my personal top 10 horrors. This can change from time to time, but this is my top 10. So, without further ado, I'm going to start with number 10. The Entity. This is a very special film, starring Barbara Hershey and Ron Silver. A ghost is obsessed with somebody that lives in this house, and they will not leave her alone. They're sexually assaulting her, and I'd never seen anything like it. I saw this when I was very young, and I didn't understand what was going on. And the music is what frightened me. The dong, 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 dong. Like, it has got the best soundtrack if you want to be frightened. Like, if you fall asleep watching this film and you get to that point, you're going to be awake. That's how good this film is. It's meant to be based on a true story. I mean, come on. But even still, it's that good. And the artwork for the cover is awesome. Everything about it is just quaint, perfectly 80s. Exactly what I want. So I'm putting that one in my top 10. It deserves to be there. It's kind of original. For me, anyway. Next for me, I'm going to go with Danny Boyle's 28 Days Later. This, at the time when it first came out at the perfect time. It was before The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, for me, killed zombie movies, programs. It was amazing to begin with, and then it was just this flood. The whole world went crazy for zombies, to the point where it became sickly. You know, like everyone went crazy for Twilight, and then naturally they get bored of it and they move on to something else, whether it be Hunger Games or this, that, or Marvel, whatever. This is what happened with 28 Days Later for me. So it was original. It was British. I thought, you know what? I've not seen a zombie apocalypse in Britain, not like this. And for me, it was refreshing to see it, because everything's done in Hollywood. Now, I'm not a massive fan of British movies, but this is good. The only thing that lets it down, if it really lets it down, but it doesn't, is the special effects, and some of the acting is a little bit over the top. But overall, this is great. And it shits on its sequel. I don't know about the new one they're going to make, but yeah, it's a good film, so I'm just going to put that one there. And now, at number 8, I have got Hostel by Eli Roth. This film is underrated in my opinion. I love this film. I love it because it's realistic. Like, I can imagine this happening. And for me, that's more frightening. You'll find out with this list that the further up the list, the more frightening like this is. It to me, Hostel is perfect. Like, Eastern Europe frightens me. I wouldn't want to go travelling there, and that's no disrespect to it. But I imagine that this sort of stuff goes on. Human trafficking. This was kind of based on some sort of true story, and then taken and changed a little bit. The sequels, garbage, but this first original one, superb. It's chilling, especially the scene where he cuts the back of his ankles. That for me is just like, you evil son of a bitch. And that's why it deserves to be in my top 10. So now at number 7, I have got Terrifier 2, which I've done a review on. I love this film. I love it, and I haven't even seen it that many times, but it just was groundbreaking in the fact that it pushed boundaries that I'd never seen pushed before. But in a good way, in a way that I could tolerate and was palatable for a horror film. Like, it's disgusting, but it's done in a way that I can enjoy it, if that makes any sense. So I'm not going to say any more on this film besides it's good. I've not seen part 3 yet. I've heard good things about it, but I've heard part 2 is the best. So for me, I'm putting it in my top 10. Next, I'm going to go for a classic, which is Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. The original one, the first one, from 1984. I love it. The first death in A Nightmare on Elm Street of Tina is the best death throughout the entire franchise. Like, it cannot be topped. It's insane. I cannot work out the special effects. I have slowed it down. I have seen documentaries on it, but nobody explains how she seems to be floating in the air. I cannot see how they do that effect. Please educate me, somebody. because I've done it frame by frame. I'll even show you here, frame by frame. Look at what I'm talking about. Like, how did they do this? And it's groundbreaking because of it, and they did it on a shoestring budget, and because of that, it has to be in my top 10, even though I think part 2 is probably scarier. Part 1 is where it's at because of the heart that went into it. So much heart went into this film. You can see it is oozing it, and you care about it, and you know what, it's scary. So well done to him for that one. That's why it's in my top 10. Next one, Stephen King, Carrie. Absolutely adore this film. I think it's more nostalgia than anything, but it's a film that I could watch at night time. I have watched it at night time, but I've also watched it during the day, like on a Sunday afternoon. Like, it's disturbing. It has a religious vibe through it, which is not hammered all the way through it, and at the end of the day, it's not that part that's scary. It's how the mother uses that religion and abuses her daughter with that religion, which is scary. Like, the religion itself is nothing without the person that's using it to abuse it. So for me, the relationship between Carrie and her mother, take away the religion, is the gross horror that frightens me. And it's beautifully acted, and the music is great, and upon rewatches it just gets better and better. This is a timeless classic that everybody should watch because it educates you about bullying and how it feels to be bullied, to be the victim of abuse when it's unneeded, unnecessary. You know, she was just trying to go to school. She didn't really want to hurt anybody, but everybody hurt her, and she gets her comeuppance in the end. But what she does to everybody else, they deserved it, in my opinion. Not all of them, but by that point, she was past the point of no return. The girl didn't deserve to be bullied the way she was. So for that reason, it's up there in my top 10. Next, it's going to have to be Jaws. Oh, that's not a horror film, it's a PG. You're telling me that you're not frightened when you see Jaws? I do not believe that. And if you aren't frightened, then why are you watching this? It's designed to be scary. This shark is intimidating, does look real. You can believe that that shark is ripping him apart. No shark film since has topped it. None could, in my opinion, could top it, because they all use CGI now. Like, I like something that I can physically touch, and I feel like I can touch the shark from Jaws. I feel like it's there, which it is. We know it is. And because of that, I can believe in the story. Like, I like all of the Jaws except for the third one. I think the third one is shit, but the fourth one gets a tough rap. I don't know why. Like, I watched it the other day. It's more pleasant to the eye than part 3. But anyways, that's why Jaws is there. It's a masterpiece. I'd love to go and visit that time and just live there. It looks like paradise. Take away the shark, you know, it's a beautiful beach. So yeah, we're gonna go with that one. Next, I've done a review on this as the best horror film of all time, but it's not my number one. If I really think about it, it's my number one in the way that it was groundbreaking and introduced us to possession in a completely new way, and that's The Exorcist. It's an amazing film. It's gorgeous. It's beautifully acted, directed, written. It takes you to places you've never been before, which is seeing a 12, 13-year-old little girl hurting herself in all ways imaginable because of a demon that's possessing her. Me, as a father, like, the thought of that happening to one of my children absolutely terrifies me. And even though it's not realistic, because we can't really prove in possessions, it still frightens me. So yeah, it's going there in my list. So at number 2, I have got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It is a fantastic film from start to finish. The tone, the music, the acting, the way the first guy they pick up who's a member of the family starts cutting his hand, like, you know you're in for like a wild ride. As soon as you see that, like, that's crazy. And he makes you feel grossed out. You feel exactly what they're feeling which is get this guy out of our van. We need to get away from here. And from that point onwards, it is just a tragedy. Like the pain that the leading girl goes through, like the intense close-ups of her eyes, like you feel every bit of fear that she is going through by the cinematography, by how the way it's been filmed and directed. The only minor part, and it's not even a minor part, I love the way it is, but it's the grandpa, like whatever's going on there with the face. I can't even work out if it's meant to be a lie. It's a young person being an old person, I guess, and they didn't have good latex. That is the only thing that I dislike about this film, because it's definitely like a 9 out of 10 for me. It's great. Okay, so number 1 is a film called Martyrs. Now, I saw this with a friend after a 6-hour drive. He said, why don't we watch this? And it had French subtitles. No, it was in French, so it was English subtitles, and I was like, this is painful to watch. Why would we be watching this? And once you see what's going down, like, it's just so real, right? The abuse that these two girls go through is incredible, and it's painful to watch, and I've only watched it 3 times because it's so painful to watch. It's artwork at its finest, showing you how evil humans can be to each other in the name of searching for that moment where just before we die. Like, that is the aim of this film. That moment they want to capture to see if they see God, and they will do anything to hurt the person, push them bodies to the limits, basically to kill them, just to see if they can have a glimpse of who's greeting them. Is it a Grim Reaper? Is it God himself? Is it an angel? I don't know. It's twisted, but people believe in this sort of stuff, and I can imagine it happening. People get abused every single day. Like, really, that is a natural horror, and anybody who can torture somebody in the way that this girl is tortured, like, they do not deserve to be living themselves. Like, it is a phenomenally evil movie, and it is my number 1. As in, like, if someone said, do you want to watch that tonight, I'd be like, I don't think I can handle that tonight, because it makes you feel that disgusted at what you're seeing, and it's not like you're getting an enjoyment from it. Like, it's not like watching a slasher movie with Freddy Krueger. It's not like that, where you want to see him kill the kid with a teenager. You want to see him do that. In this, you don't want to see it. You want them to escape and live a happy, fulfilled life because of all the pain that's been put upon them by the people torturing them. It is a wonderful film, and it's my number 1. At the moment, it's my number 1 because I'm so frightened of seeing it, I'm not going to rewatch it. Until the next time. Anyways, that's my list. I hope you've got your own list. Put your own list down. Send me, show me. I want to see what your list is for top 10. Like, what would you say is the best horror film that you've ever seen? I'm interested. Put it in the comments. And I'm just going to leave that one there. Thank you.
Turn on the AC. It's Angel Caruso.